Hi everybody and welcome to Wild Things. Well, Western Australia is renowned as a global biodiversity hotspot. Threatening processes such as introduced species and habitat loss are causing a lot of fauna species to decline. Monitoring these animals at risk helps give us a better picture of what's going on before it's too late. Joining us today is Mike Griffiths from WWF to tell us all about monitoring animals in the bush. Hi Mike, welcome to the show.
G'day Marty, thank you.
Now tell us, what is a camera trap and how are they used?
Well, they're a very handy little device. I just happen to have one right here.
Okay.
Motion-triggered camera, to call them by another name.
Okay.
And really it's got a sensor, it's got a little camera aperture, and it's got your illumination panel at the top.
Okay.
And set of batteries and an SD card.
Okay, fantastic. So the camera basically itself is capturing species as they're running around the bush?
That's right. You put that camera out there and it'll pick up anything that moves in front of it, basically. It's really about warm moving objects in front of that sensor.
Okay.
And away it goes. So they're wonderful for wildlife. They get used for all sorts of things. But for us, it's all about wildlife monitoring.
Brilliant.
Very, very handy little device.
I'm sure, especially when you can't be out there 24/7.
That's right. It saves you a lot of time, you know, standing around watching animal burrows and things like that.
I can imagine.
You know, at the end of
Doing a bit of a
camera.
Steve-O in there for a couple of days. That's fantastic equipment. Now, I know that you've got some footage here today to show us of some of the animals that you've actually caught on camera, which is pretty exciting. Yep. So we'll have a look at that and you can walk us through what animals, you know, you've captured on film and tell us a bit about them if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, we operate these through different patches of bush through the wheat belt. A lot of it privately owned bushland.
Yep.
And we also have at times work with Department of Environment and Conservation.
Okay.
I'll just call them DEC.
Yep.
And we have things like the Tuditch in DEC reserves.
Such as we can see right now.
Exactly.
That's the spotted quoll or Tuditch. And what have we got here?
We've got a little spiny tail skink. This is one of the rare endangered species of reptile.
Okay.
And it really shows that that it's not just restricted to little warm furry critters. We get reptiles and birds and even frogs at times too.
Fantastic.
This one's on private property.
Okay.
Out in the wheat belt. And
oh, and that's a little Dunnart, yeah?
that's a little Dunnart, yeah.
Gorgeous.
That's a darling little critter, and this is really typifies the sorts of things that that are actually still out there on people's properties.
The unfortunate introduced species.
And then there's the introduced species, the ferals and the pets, and this cat really typifies that in bushland out east of Perth, and they really cats and foxes are the big ones. So it's really it really shows what's going on with those little cute things that that should be all through all those patches of bush, and they've disappeared through most of them.
And obviously due to a lot of the introduced species. What animals are these, Mike?
These are rock wallabies, black-flanked rock wallabies from out in the central wheat belt, and this is a
gorgeous.
They are so cute.
Look
when
at
you got those little joeys there. They've been having a few problems of late, and the camera traps are really helping to shed a bit of light on what's going on. Just one of the tools in the toolbox, but
because I guess these guys are quite elusive, and it's very difficult to sort of spot them on any given day. So the camera traps must be fantastic.
That's dead right. You can stand for hours in one spot out there and never see any of those things.
And they just camouflage so well, the rock wallabies, don't they?
They sure do, and they hide low too.
Yep.
So
okay. Now look, in the time that you've been filming with the camera traps, have you noticed any declines in certain species yourself?
We haven't really been using the cameras for long enough and comprehensively enough to pick up long-term declines like that. But it certainly happens, Marnie, and the biologists from DEC and other organisations are very aware of a lot of declines of small things like the Tuditch and the Dunnarts. Yep. So what the cameras are really showing us, and where they're really helping, is showing what's going on, other issues that those little critters are having to tackle, and also showing, like that Dunnart and the Tuditch, in some cases, where showing land managers where they've got these little native mammals, and the example of the Dunnart really shows. We've picked that up at 3 or 4 different areas.
Incredible. And they're tiny little animals, aren't they?
Size of a mouse.
Yeah. So of course they're going to go undetected, and that's why these are so brilliant.
They're great. And to show a farmer, a landholder who's got a lovely patch of bush that they've got dunarts on their property with one of these things and actually see the video, it's just great.
Well, that's great. So obviously WWF doing some wonderful work with the camera traps, and like you say, you know, you're able to work with land managers and everyone to really highlight the species that we've got here and the importance of protecting them. Thank you so much, Mike, for coming on today and sharing with us a little bit about what you do in the bush. It's fantastic work, and we really wish you well in the future.
Thank you very much, Marnie. An absolute pleasure. Great,
thanks. If you'd like to know any more about WWF or camera trapping, go to our website at www.thecouch.com.au. Thanks for joining us today on Wild Things. As always, keep it wild.